to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am not Drew, because Drew's having some technical issues. I am Rob. I'm here. We're going to do this podcast a little solo on the road, because Drew can't correct me. Woohoo! But yes, sorry for the late start, everyone out there. I was not the late one today. Senior Drew's having some technical issues. He's working on it. Hopefully he can join us in the later of the show. But we got some Giants news to go over that we just couldn't let wait any longer. So we want to dive right into everything that's going on, and hopefully Drew could join us later. So let's dive right into the show. Up first, let's talk about some trade rumors from the Bleacher Report, because these guys, they get a little saucy over here. Can it be? What is it? Geno Smith and a crazy Bleacher Report gets traded to the Giants in a scenario. This is not official. This is the Bleacher Report going out there, spreading out the rumors, trying to have a good old time. But the hypothetical trade that they would love to see is Eluemunor to the Seahawks, along with the 25 first-round draft pick, 3 overall, 25 fifth-round draft pick, number 55 overall, for QB Geno Smith himself. And the Giants, in return, would get the 25 first-round draft pick, number 18 from the Seahawks. They would also get a 2025 third-round pick from Seahawks, which would be number 22. This in their heads would give us a quarterback to play around with. Also, a couple better picks down the road. So, yes, we wouldn't have our top 3 pick, but we would gain another first-round pick with proven talent as of recent years in the quarterback position, along with an extra third-round pick. It really doesn't feel like the Giants' current regime really has any leeway to wait for a rookie quarterback to develop, is what they're saying. Even if they can guarantee them Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders will be available at 3. They aren't quite the same caliber as last year's draft class, which is 100% right. And they pulled out Drake May and Cleve Williams from a year ago, which we all know, sadly, as Giants fans, that the number one, and if you guys are goofballs and been following this show, Daniels was our number 1 pick last year, and he's proven himself. And once again, I don't really see that out of Sanders. Possibly Ward. Things got to fall in place for Ward. I think Cam Ward is a quarterback that could develop behind another quarterback. Maybe Mr. Geno Smith himself. I don't know, but that's just what the Bleacher Report is reporting. They also said that Brian Daboll has yet to have a good quarterback since taking the Giants job. It's time he gets a chance to prove himself with a quarterback who can win right out. Geno Smith might not be the best quarterback Geno Smith might be the best quarterback who could be available via trade, which we shall see once the Super Bowl is over. We got, another 5 days for that to happen to get some more fun news there, but we'll see. Bleacher Report also said the deal would give the Seahawks an opportunity to draft one of the top talents in the draft while putting Geno Smith's contract onto the Giants. It would also still leave the Giants with 2 draft picks to improve their overall roster, which they're not wrong. I don't know how fair of the trade that would be overall, but it's fun, I guess, to speculate. I don't know if I would take that pick because I do have a feeling the Giants will do something to get one of these top caliber quarterbacks in this draft, which is not saying they're top tier, but guys who can play the game compared to what's out there. I mean, Geno Smith, who he was a better quarterback for the Seahawks, even though he played for about 7 other different divisions, it seems like, before coming over to play for the Seahawks. Yeah, they get punched in the locker room. I bring it up all the time in the Jets locker room. But something clicked. And I don't know if it was the offensive scheme, but it also seems like it's not clicking it the same way it did a few years ago with Sneaky Pete in the locker room. If you want to talk about more exciting news around the league, we got to talk about some retirements. And we got to talk about some retirement parties. You got an ex-Giant who is barely a Giant, who is he's set to retire. You got Mr. Mason Crosby himself, 17 years in the league. But Crosby said on 105.7 The Fan, I think I'm putting this off for 2 years. He hasn't also played at this point in 2 seasons. It's a year and a half. But he said, let me go back to the quote. I think I've been putting it off for 2 years. I've been putting it out of my mind. Today, I make my official announcement to retire from the NFL. My 17 seasons in the NFL surpassed all of my childhood hopes and dreams, which Mason Crosby, like, yes, he's a former Giant for about a month, but he was one of the all-time best kickers of the generation he played for, especially 16 years under Green Bay there. Mason last played for the NFL under the Giants, like I just said, in the 23 seasons. He played 3 games because we picked him up December 11th, I want to say, December 9th, because all our kickers were hurt and punters at that point. So, yeah, Crosby played 3 games. He kicked 5 of 7 field goals. He got 6 of 7 extra point attempts, and he was also used for 16 kickoffs. He spent the rest of the 17th season with the Packers from 2007 to 2022. He also had a little bit of an extent, if you will, playing for the Rams on their practice squad. Didn't last there that long. They pretty much picked him up because they needed some extra kickers over there. We pitched him off the practice squad. But that's not to take away from this guy's legacy. He's one of the most consistent kickers. He's up there with Tucker and some of these other big guys of our times. And if you're a fantasy football guy like me, he's one of those kickers you pick up when you snake around in your draft, late round. You just know you can sit him and forget about him. Yeah, he's good, whoever he plays. Up next, we have some more mock drafts to talk about, because who doesn't like a good old mock draft? In this mock draft, Travis Hunter to the Giants. Said, what? Sounds so weird. But yes, Lance Zerloin mocked Travis Hunter to the Giants, saying, two-way talent to the Big Apple. Whoa! All right, maybe I added one. I like it. The Giants had the second fewest interceptions in the league in 2024, which total of 5. Awesome. The ball hawking Hunter can help New York do a better job of taking the ball away and score some touchdowns as a part-time receiver. And his scenario as the Giants skipped Shedeur Sanders, who went 6th overall to the Raiders. Victor Cruz recently said to Fox 5 New York, bring the game changer like Travis Hunter, who could play your Swiss Army knife on the field, both offensively and defensively, and then build the roster around him. I like the idea of that. I like the mentality of that. In real life, I don't agree with any of that. It sounds all good and fun on paper when you're talking about a guy that could be your receiver who could also be your cornerback. The saying is usually the cornerbacks are the receivers that just couldn't catch the ball. And I mean, obviously, Travis Hunter can catch the ball, but we also got Malik Nabers. We just talked about Monday. Do we get Cooper Kupp? Probably not, unless you get Stafford, which talked about the trade earlier about Geno Smith. Probably not going to happen. But you pick up a guy like Hunter, it is so hard to make it as a legit receiver in this league. Just doing that as your sole trade. It is so hard to make it as a cornerback in this league or a safety, with that being your sole trade. Now you're telling this guy to go play offense and defenses. When is he going to get dressed? Like, you're going to play him once every few downs for each time? Like, what's he supposed to do? He's not going to be able to play all over the place. He's not going to be on the field nonstop. The guy's going to need rest. It's the NFL. It's not college. You're playing with the best of the best, sir. So if you draft a guy like this, you're going to say, hey, most likely, like, hey, you're going to be our corner and a couple trick plays. We're going to send you in on offense, but when you send him on offense, it's also a sign of, hey, where do you think the ball is going to go? I don't know. Could be. We shall see. But yeah, that's he is a playmaker, and I don't want to take it away from Travis from there, but it is definitely going to be a lot to ask from this guy to play offense and defense at the same time. But let's go into some fifth-year options and some rumors around here. The fifth-year option decision for Neil and Thibodeau. Some big times, some big first-round picks to the Giants. Thursday's the deadline to make the move. So tomorrow night, we got to figure out what we're doing. We're going to send these guys another year. We got to tell them to go kick rocks, or we're going to sign something bigger. Neil's probably the easiest answer of most guys if you want to bring him back or not, especially for that salary cap. He is a big old fat goose egg. You tell that guy to kick rocks and flip burgers, it's a no. Doug Durden of The Athletic said that Thibodeau's career has been an interesting journey. He registered only 4 sacks as a rookie, but advanced the metrics suggested that he would be more disruptive and pass rusher than the sack total indicated, which is 100% true. Anyone that had eyes on this guy obviously saw that. Dan also went on to say, then he piled up 11.5 sacks in his second season, but advanced the metrics to indicate that sacks totals was inflated. He had 5.5 sacks in 12 games this season, and again advanced the metrics. He was 16th in pass rush win rate, where few were more favorable. He's speaking high, but he also went on to say, regardless of numbers, Thibodeau hasn't made the impact that was expected he would with the 5th round pick in the 2022 draft. The Giants will need to make a decision on Thibodeau's $16.1 million for the 2026 this offseason. That's a tricky decision, but expected this regime to pick up the option on its first draft pick. So it's kind of tell signs there that Dan Duggan believes that Thibodeau will be a Giant next year. And I also believe that Tibbs will be a Giant next year. He's been, not going to turn to just said, a roller coaster to watch. Has he made some talent? Has he made some moves? Has he been better at certain things? Yes, no. Depends on the year. Depends on the injury. What's going on? And it depends if he's playing the Washington Commanders or not, because about half those sacks of his career are against the Commanders, maybe more. It's telling. Picking up your offensive line, your defensive line guys, number 1 overall in the first round pick. Not number 1 overall, but in the number 1 round, if you will. Like, you're talking 5 and 7. These guys were supposed to be studs. They're supposed to be amazing. And you got one guy's going to be flipping burgers, and the other guy's that's going to be running some corners. And Thibodeau has the opportunity to be a lot better of a player. He's been a roller coaster, but he hasn't shown that top tier. Like, I feel like the Giants at this point have 2 quote unquote top tier edge rushers that are probably just below that. And it's not bashing, but they're getting paid like they should be top tier, which is the problem. Both really good talents. They're just kind of, I guess they're riding the bucket. I think Tibbs comes back next year. Let's see what kind of contract he gets after his 5th year option. But up next, here's some juicy, fun news that I've been saying, and I know Drew also has agreed with me. It was a little weird at first, but I think it's going to be fun. And the little rumor has it from a very interesting source. Mr. Barkley, Mr. former Giant himself, Shack Attack Barkley, tells QB Jameis Winston to come over to the Giants. Go sign with the Giants. Be our Reverend. Because why not? Winston was asked. Winston asked Barkley at a Super Bowl media event what team he should go play for next season, and he said, "I'm a free agent. I don't know I got no job. Who's going to sign me as a free agent? Which Barkley comes back and says, I think the New York Giants need a quarterback right now. As to be specific, Barkley clarified he means the Giants. Winston loves the idea, apparently. Talking to New Jersey Advance Media, Winston said, I would would I love to really sign with the Giants? Absolutely. I want to keep playing and do what I do best. Turnovers, picks, and touchdowns. He's fantastic at it. I have a ton of respect for Coach Brian Daboll. The things they've done offensively, I think we have a young woo, which is his quote. They have a younger roster, but I have a young roster that's ready to win. They're ready to bounce back. I know they're hungry over there, which is very interesting because that's a quarterback that Giants should have brought in last year before he signed with the Browns to give DJ some little pushback, if you will. Winston is not the best quarterback out there, but the price you're going to pay for that guy with the upturn of quarterback play we have now, look at this, you Tommy DeVito, it's definitely worth it. I've said it countless times. He's a guy that will throw you between 300 to 500 yards a game and put up 7 touchdowns. Are they 7 touchdowns for your team? Are they 7 touchdowns for the other team? Or are they few and far in between for both teams? Because that's the quarterback play he has. Also see some comments over there. I will be getting to those in very shortly. Up next, Bryce Ford Wheaton. Yeah, we got some news on this guy. He undergoes some surgery. Yes, Bryce Ford Wheaton undergoes off-season surgery. Dan Duggan of The Athletic. Ford Wheaton recently underwent shoulder surgery, according to a league source. Ford Wheaton dislocated his shoulder multiple times during the season, but played through the injury as a core special teamer. Bryce Ford will likely be sidelined during the spring as he recovers from his injury. So, Giant fans that wanted to sign this guy to a big contract player, number one, yeah, that's at the door. Granted, it wasn't really on the table, but it's at the door. But there's obviously replications because he did very well for us as a special teamer. He got us that crazy touchdown, which kind of gives a third overall pick. But hey, whatever. But yes, Bryce, I wish you well. I hope you have a speedy recovery, and hopefully you're recovering fairly fast. All right, up next, we have a little juicy topics to go over here. Up first, we got Malik Nabers and who he thinks we should be talking about. We have Nabers as a QB suggestions, and he's talked about it. Oh, yes. Yes, Nabers went on PFT Live. While there, he quoted saying, I would want to have a vet there, Nabers said. If we decide to pick a rookie, in my eye, not plural, he said my eye, I would want a vet to be in the same room with the rookie, teaching him some stuff so when he's out there, they're not just out there in his head thinking apparently. He's just been out there the savior of the team. That's a lot to put on a rookie, which obviously that's very wise of Malik to give a very wonderful, inspiring message like that. But it's true. We say, Drew and I have been talking about this a lot. If you take a rookie quarterback and you put him out there in the middle of, no man's land and expect him to go play well, especially with, New York market, like you're asking for failure. If you get yourself James Winston, you get yourself whoever, just come here for a year. Get yourself a bridge quarterback. Like, you get yourself a Geno Smith, like we talked about earlier. Like, he could teach the rookie, like, hey, Geno Smith's on his way out the door, but he has a lot of knowledge in this league. And he could be like, hey, I was young and dumb too. Like, you don't say this about your team. You don't say that about your team. You look for this in the open field. You don't look for that in the open field. And when they ask you what you think about your offensive coordinator, you keep your mouth shut, just waiting like a punch in the face. Little things like that. Also said while on Sirius XM Football Radio, on Cam Ward, Nabers said he's comfortable when he's back there. He throws the ball in spots that are not really supposed to go to throw the ball, but has a crazy arm talent. He's mobile. I've seen him come back from games. I'm like, nah, this game's over. This game's over with. And I'm just dotting. He's very efficient. He has crazy arm talent. I feel like he's a leader that wants to bring people along with him to win. I mean, you look at that Miami team through the years. Without him, the record wasn't like that. You bring a guy like that to the team, the record shows what kind of leader he is, what kind of quarterback he is. Drew and I think verbatim said that as well, as I read off that quote. If not very, very close prior to seeing this. So, Malik, fantastic job, my friend. It sounds like you listen to the goofballs. We appreciate you. But he also said on Shedeur Sanders, I've been watching him a long time. He has another crazy arm talent. He gives his guys the opportunity to go make plays. He's not scared, and he wants to win. He's a leader. From what I've heard in the locker room, he's a great leader. Not quite in depth on how good he is, but he definitely shows the respect. If I would have to guess or bet, I'm not a big bettor, but I would put 5 and black on this one that he's going to say that he thinks Cam Ward is to get better quarterback, better fit for the Giants, which once again sounds like Malik Nabers is a Two Giants Goofball fan. So Malik, if you want to come on, just send an email to Two Giant Goofballs at mail.com and let us know. We'll put you on anytime you like. Yeah, that was a nice little news to hear. Up next, something that came out today. If you guys follow New York Giants media, you may have saw this already, but the man, the myth, the legend, Darius Slayton wins an award. Yes, won the 2025 Alan Page Community Award in the NFLPA. The NFLPA describes the award, the Alan Page Community Award, and it recognizes one player who demonstrates profound dedication to positively impacting his team, city, and communities across the country. Following Fallen in the spirit of the Pro Football Hall of Famer, humanitarian and civil rights pioneer Alan Page. Slain reaction, winning the award means more than words can describe. The main goal for me and my family has always been to be able to give back to people in our communities. It's not about the recognition, but I accept this award with grace and humility. I hope it brings further light to the causes my family and I support. I am extremely grateful to be named the 2025 Alan Page Community Award winner, which kudos to you, my friend, because well deserved. You always are doing a lot around the area, New York, East Rutherford. It's fantastic to see. And I love that you won this award because you are definitely well earned of it. Yeah, let's hopefully some of the coaching staff give you a similar award because you do a lot for this team as well, my friend, which is fantastic. Let's get into the final segment before we jump into some comments out there. Cam Sanders and the Giants fit. Cam Newton had some things to say. All right. We're obviously talking about Cam Newton, not Cam Ward. Cam Newton. He was on ESPN's First Take. I wouldn't want to go to Nashville if I was Shedeur. I would want to go to the Giants. It's a perfect fit. Take it from the guy that got drafted to North Carolina. And the thing that I love about Shedeur is his ability not to waver. His aura is engulfing. Newton said that can be intimidating. And when you think about all the teams in the league, there's a handful of teams that will embody that. I can see everybody in the New York bracing him that who he is. I think New York's present is bigger pool for Shedeur's name. What would that look like? Newton said. And if we're talking about the business alone, the opportunity alone, it's not even about Dion. More than less, it's about Shedeur, right? I think Shedeur has him written all over as a New York Giant. Which is also kind of saying the writing on the wall that Drew and I have been saying for a while. It's like we do think he's going to be a Giant just because Cam's saying for the play, but he's also saying for the media presence to get his name out there. And I do take it that way a smidge, and I don't disagree, but I would like to see that talent there. I'd rather see Cam there, Ward, that is, not Cam Newton. And I'm not going to take that away, but I'll be happy to get in any one of those guys in that draft right there. But, yeah. All right. We got a few comments to go over here. Not too many, not too shabby here. Deb chimes in before the episode even started. Sorry, Deb, for taking so long to get to your comment because I see that you posted this well before we even started. You got in here before we even we're supposed to start. Giants Insider said Dave Soveson, oh Lord, scout is a guest. His quick take on the draft: Cam Ward for QB at 3 if not available, then Abdul Carter. Gotta look at Duke Carter, but literally was just saying in the last segment that I do think Cam's the man. I think that's the way to go. Interesting take on Sanders, says Deb. He has had an elite QB coaching for years, and he's at his ceiling. Not number 3 pick. If Sanders was not his last name, he would not be in the top 5, and I don't disagree. I haven't seen him play. I haven't been able to see him be pushed. I need to watch more tape on him in the nitty gritties of actual football and not just the highlights. But you're not wrong. But that's also to be said that he's conditioned at a young age to play football, to be calm, which some people take it as it could be their ceiling. That could just be who they are and not be able to handle pressure. I mean, Christ, we're Giants fans, and Eli's face every time he won a Super Bowl looked like he just woke up from a nap. Like, just because you kind of look like you're out of it or you're not fazed by something that's going on doesn't mean you're not ready to improve or step up to the level. Going back, Shedeur, yes, young age, dad, like one of the best at his positions, if not the best at his positions, has been coaching him, has been cheering him up. Has he just been going through the motions his whole life, or he's been playing that high caliber? Is he playing his best football that he ever can, or is he's that coach's son that is kind of going through the motions and hasn't had to step up to actually be who he is? Only time will tell that. So you can't take that away. That's something that has to be said. I was a coach myself for wrestling, and there's some kids out there that go through the motions, but if you push them to the limit, they're way better just because they're kind of pushed into that situation. So is that Sanders? Probably not, but that's something you have to think about. All right. Thanks for the comments, Deb. Mike Jones comes in over here saying, "What's up, brother? Fellow Giants content creator. Enjoy your show." Thank you, Mr. Jones. I appreciate you jumping in. Yeah, fantastic. I appreciate you as well. John Willow comes in. Winston is a dumb. Is he a dum-dum? Is he a dum-dum? Give me gum-gum. What do you mean by that? Is a dumb? I think that's a dumb comment. No offense. Like, is he dumb? I just think he sounds silly because he looks like he's about to eat a cheeseburger or just ate like 3 burritos before he gives a press conference. John also comes in saying, Mac Jones, Flacco's are 3 times the QBs. I wouldn't go that far. Which Jones you talk about? Mac Jones and Flacco. Winston just threw like the most single game yards of anyone. Mac Jones has no ring. Flacco, you're not wrong, but he's also, God, he's older than Drew, so he's older than dirt. So that's crap. Holy crap, it's Mike Jones. What about basketball Jones? Vet equals Mac Rooms. Rookie equals Shedeur. Mac Jones. He can learn all the veterans' failures, QB failures. Zach Wilson's equals or Mac Jones. Yeah. I don't disagree with what you're saying there. I get there's not a lot that you get out there. But if you get like a guy like Kirk Cousins, He's a guy that's been around the league. He's Mr. Average. And he steps up in non-primetime games. But he could show you how to read. He can show you how to read defenses. He can show you how to do audibles. Like, there's some things, some quarterbacks who are not good on the field actually playing the ball are really good at coaching. There's a lot of that out there. I mean, shit, look at you, Harbaugh. Guy that tapped out of a game and actually he's like won a Super Bowl. Go figure. Looking at you, David Webb, Mr. Third String Wonder, whose QB coach might be an offensive coordinator very soon. So, yeah, there's that. But when you look at Winston, he's a guy he's not the best out there. He's also the guy who could tell you how to read defenses, not necessarily throw the ball, because he doesn't have the best arm talent out there, but he has the willingness to try and the confidence to try to make something work, which, I mean, that's something a lot of great quarterbacks have. Just he doesn't necessarily have the arm strength to be that accurate when he needs to throw those hero balls. He has arm strength to throw the ball 50 yards downfield, 100%. But when you're doing that, you need to be pinpoint accurate, not lawn dart accurate, and get lost in the woods. But guys, that's an episode. Steal from the Talking Giants. I think that's about it. There's no more comments. Drew still has no microphone, which is amazing because have you guys ever heard Drew not talk for 43 minutes? Yeah, me neither. Anyway, love you, Drew. Just kidding. Guys, we really appreciate you guys for coming in, listening. It's been a great old time. We are live on a lot of different things, but before we get over there, I have to pay the bills. Drew wasn't here to remind me. So, guys, hold on one second before I tell you where you can follow us and tell us how much you can help us by just hitting that like, subscribe, the ring the bells, tell you about you hit the stars on the YouTube. Send this the thing I could buy us a coffee. But here you go.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
All right. That being said, guys, all joking aside, thank you so much for watching the show. Really appreciate it. Sorry for the delay at the beginning of the episode. It's been happening a little too much, and we apologize about that. But yes, we're always live Monday, Wednesdays, Thursdays at 9 o'clock. We're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, formerly Twitter, and Drew's like that picture. I can't help it. Oh, jeez. There we go. Great listen, by the way. Guys, we are terrible at marketing, so we really appreciate it, and you've really helped us out. But really, if you guys can't help support us on buyusacoffee.com, you can't send some super chats, you can't, become a member, just tell a friend for us. It really goes a long way. Hit the likes, hit the subscribe. It really goes a long way for us. I didn't realize until we became content creators, that really means something. So please, we're always up the next day on your audios, wherever you get your audios platforms. We're at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're on Spotify, Twitch, we're on Apple, we're on iHeartRadio, wherever you get your listening content in the morning, we are there. So yeah, thank you for another show. Thank you for listening to me babble on about the Giants. And most importantly, Giants fans out there, we have to watch the Eagles and Kansas City go for a 3-call in the Super Bowls. We have one more episode before then, but I'm going to have to say, before we get to that episode, we're going to have to go, J-Man, let's go, J-Man. Thank you for listening to the show. Go, J-Man. J-Man.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging